and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Sprint. My name is Daphne Gray. You already know we are, Thursday now? I feel like this week is going by slow, and I think it's because the weather is cold and you're waking up. And I don't know if it's been just me, but I have been so just exhausted at the end of the workday. I guess it's the holiday. I'm gonna call it the holiday-itis. Fortunately, I'm feeling a little bit better with my congestion, so hopefully I'm not sneezing and being all gross like I was yesterday that y'all had to deal with, so I apologize in advance if it does turn out that I have to be all gross again. But regardless of the matter, we're gonna have a good time today because there's a lot of cool stories going on. And again, we're in the holiday season, which means we're in the giving season, and there's so many different groups of people, professional, non-professional, that are doing what they can to help kids in need. For example, we're gonna talk about a professional hockey team carrying out an awesome 13-year tradition where they are literally helping and taking time out of their busy schedule to make it a point that children can have a happy holiday this morning. So again, it's going to be a cool day today of the different stories that we're going to talk about that maybe you can get involved with trying to help out in the community. But before we get to those, some serious things that I think is very important to know. We got some scams going on and some possible issues that you guys may want to be aware about, especially when it comes down to all of our iPhone lovers out there. I'm a straight up Google Pixel chick, but I'm pretty sure I could be victimized as well. But this is apparently what's going on. 10 News alert right now. Excuse me. Law enforcement warning parents about a potential safety concern with a new feature added by Apple in the latest software update of iOS 17 called the NameDrop. It's advertised as an easy way to share contact information. All you have to do is just hold the top end of two phones together, but the feature is already on, and whenever you update your phone or to the iOS 17, even though the phones have to be pretty close for it to work, the feature is causing a new push to bring awareness for parents with kids that have iPhones.
Whether it's Facebook or Instagram or any other of these social media apps, and they're constantly changing your permissions. And if you don't read them carefully, and very few people do, it opens up other gateways that are of true concern.
Now, if you want to turn off this new feature, you go to the settings, scroll down to the general, and then go to AirDrop and toggle off bringing devices together. Now, we hear from a former police officer about the concerns about the new feature, and the local departments are issuing their warnings. That's going to be tonight in our 90 minutes of local news on WSLS 10. Do not miss it. So we're going to get into that so people can, again, be aware of what they're dealing with. Another scam that we got to get into, AI is getting way too high tech and too advanced in my opinion, but scammers are now trying to use AI to the point where one Botetourt County man's story has a lot of parents a little shaken, and just the overall feel that people are trying to go their way to violate individual security. That's kind of concerning. So basically what happened is this gentleman right here, he has a daughter, and apparently he was called one day by a particular scammer, sounded like her voice, and this particular AI device that was happening was basically crying and sobbing, saying that she had just been kidnapped, and then a man picks up the phone. So it was one of those deals, but it sounded so realistic that this guy was just like, yo, what can I do to save my daughter? Ended up being fake. And then when he hung up the phone, because the scammer, he couldn't tell him what his daughter's name was, so that's how you knew it was a lie, ended up texting him, what is her name? And they texted back and nothing happened. So again, this is their way of trying to warn parents out there just to be aware that scammers are getting more and more creative. Again, using AI to the point where, again, it's kind of disturbing. So another tip for ensuring that you don't fall into a trap like this, basically, if you're on the phone and you hear long pauses, that should be a red flag, because officials say that means that it says that this is a way to tell if the call is being cloned or not. So again, it's just a lot of weird stuff happening. We got a full list of the resources that you can take and do to make sure things are running smoothly and not in a concerning fashion. Go to our website, WSLS.com. But something else that I was talking about earlier that I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but about 3 or 4 different times now, I've received a random text message from someone saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" or "Good morning." And because it's an unknown number, but the number doesn't look too crazy, I'll text it back and be like, "Hey, my apologies, but who is this? I don't have you saved." And the next thing you know, they'll send a message back like, "Hey, Dr. Sandra, this is Mike," and I'm like, "Oh, wrong number." You text wrong number back, and then they'll text you back and they'll be like, "Oh, no worries. I'm so sorry. I accidentally typed the wrong number in." You text back just being generous and say, "Okay, yeah, you're good." And then they'll send a message that's just like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. Maybe this could start a new friendship," or they try to continue the conversation. That's when I get trust issues. And typically, I usually just one and done, I'm out. But I remember the first time I did get that, I thought they were just being nice. And I was just like, "Oh, no worries. You didn't disturb anything. Have a blessed day." And then they'll come back with this full paragraph trying to talk some more. So I think that's a scam. Anyways, be alert because you never know how people are acting nowadays. It is 30 days of hope. And unfortunately, this is our last day. Actually, technically, our 30 days of hope straight through. This is our last day of November where we're talking about children who are in the foster care system in Virginia that desperately wants a family to love. And this particular boy that we're about to show you, man, his name is Grayson. Showed you him in 2020 and then 2021, still looking to find a home. And again, when we first talked to him, had an emotional story, made a lot of people kind of choke up. And today he may make you choke up as well because, again, he's 16 now and is just desperate for a family to love him.
A lot of times I feel like I'm left out, and I feel like I'm the only one without, what I'm saying, parents and stuff like that. I see people hugging each other, and it's just hard. And I look, and I'm like, I wish that were me. Everyone deserves to have a family.
Grayson is still looking for a family, one that will accept him and love him.
Love is when a parent gives birth, and and they have you throughout the whole time. Like, I never had that, so I was moved out at least when I was like 6. Throughout my whole history of life, I haven't felt love, real love.
He's 16 years old. While Grayson wants to belong in a family, he's concerned being an older teen might limit who's willing to take that chance.
I would hope there would be a chance for me to be with other people in the house.
He's supportive, caring, and compassionate.
I like cooking spaghetti. I cook spaghetti for my boys most of the time. They'll ask me to make spaghetti and how to make spaghetti. I cook anything.
He also likes going to the gym and playing video games.
I play chess. I love chess. I'm getting better at it. I'm not a grandmaster, but I'm good at chess and I can try to beat somebody in that. I also like basketball, and that's just my main thing that I play.
He just seems like just a sweet young man right there. Beautiful smile. You can tell he's handsome young gentleman who just wants to be loved. So the fact of the matter is that the fact that there are kids out there who have that desperation that so many kids take for granted. I took for granted. I grew up with both of my parents, but many people don't have that luxury out there. And it's so sad because, again, when you see that rare smile, it's like a window into their life for that brief moment. But him speaking about how he looks at other families and looks at other family kids together with their moms and dads, that just breaks your heart. So yeah, his story is definitely one of many tragedies that we have been talking about on 30 Days of Hope. But I genuinely feel like there's a big blessing on the other end of this awful chapter of his. I think one day he's going to be a very successful young man and be able to look back on this and be able to be some type of voice for kids like himself in the foster care world that can be adopted. I also pray that there's a family out there watching his story, looks at it and just takes him on, because that right there forms the strongest soldiers in our society. As parents and supportive parents that take care of these babies that desperately need it. So yeah, if you want to see his story, more stories that we featured so far, information about foster care or adoption, go to our website at WSLS.com under 30 Days of Hope. So, Home for Good is taking place right now, y'all. WSLS is once again building a Home for Good in partnership with Habitat for Humanity in Roanoke Valley. Volunteers from one of our generous sponsors, Bank of Botetourt, spent time yesterday working on the site. Over 90 days, we will be building a home for the Baya family, which they'll buy through the Habitats program. This will be our 9th home build in the Star City. So, yes, it's also a really cool deal right there because it's always fun to see such a successful build and to see a family that's been happy and excited about this project and everything come to fruition. It's just always a beautiful sight to see them have the best present that they could possibly ask for. Speaking of present, if you guys like the cold temperatures, this weather right now is the gift for you. Obviously, it was very chilly. If you woke up today, it's going to be a little bit warmer later on, but I'll let meteorologist Chris Michaels break that down to you for your Thursday forecast.
All right, happy Thursday, guys. Tracking a storm system producing everything from snow in the Rockies to severe weather in the deep south gives us the chance for a few showers tomorrow, slightly better chances at times this weekend with the details on WSLS.com. I'll see you tomorrow morning on The Spring.
Thank you so much, Chris. And of course, make sure you guys keep that jacket around, stay warm, because again, hypothermia is a thing. We don't want people getting sick or getting themselves in a situation where their body is just like, what is going on? Okay. Moving on, man. If you love you some cookies and you love you some Subway, get this. If you're at select places, there's a foot-long cookie for you, man. They're doing this rollout in honor of National Cookie Day, which is coming up next Monday. Select Subway restaurants are offering it. This is a free foot-long chocolate chip cookie with the purchase of a foot-long sub. This isn't completely new. The chain debuted the foot-long cookies last year on Cookie Day, and they ran out in less than 2 hours. So those wanting to take advantage of the offer this year should act fast. Cookie giveaway is only available, I know, get this, it's at Subways in Chicago, Dallas, Miami, and New York City. But here's this is my workaround with this, okay? You could totally go to Walmart, go to Kroger, go to your favorite grocery chain and get your favorite brand of cookie dough. You can get the tube, you can get the ones with the little bitty that comes already pre-cut. Roll that stuff up into like a tube, flatten it, put it in the oven. There's your foot-long cookie right there. And if anything, you can also scoop out. I said it would be a great boat for a Sunday. You can scoop some ice cream out, drizzle some hot fudge on it, put some peanuts on it if you want that. I'm not a nuts person, but I will say just that alone sounds delicious. I know Chili's does this really cool cookie skillet thing. That's what it reminded me of. So, yeah, just because they're doing a foot-long in these particular select areas, you can still make your own foot-long cookie, and you don't even have to buy a Subway sandwich. That's my theory. Either way, moving on to something. Again, this is the holiday season where everybody is in the mood of giving, and there's this cool giving machine. Get this, helping those in need during the holiday season across Virginia. Very unique way. Special vending machine dispenses items like medical supplies or bath towels. It also looks like a regular vending machine that dispenses chips or soda, but the giving machine can even provide people with chickens or goats. The money put into the machine is donations that can help buy meals, vaccines, cleaning supplies, and even goats or chickens. The giving machine also doesn't just help people in Virginia, but across the world as well. They can be found in different locations across the Commonwealth throughout the month of December. So that's going to be really cool right there. I had a very slow moment earlier today where I thought it was just like a vending machine that gives you a chicken, and I'm thinking to myself, how does that even possible? But I get it now. Now that I see the video, it all makes sense. So, hey, if you guys are in charge of making these giving machines, that is always a cool deal. And thank you so much for popping them up because you never know who needs what when they might need it. Moving on down the road, a Roanoke nonprofit making Christmas wishes come true for sick boys and girls. Hope Driven is hosting its 5th annual Christmas toy drive. The goal is to collect the gifts and personal items for sick kids to help get their minds off the illness and injury and get into the holiday spirit. Donations will be collected Saturday from noon to 4 outside the Carilions Children in Tanglewood. Another awesome story of people giving back during the holiday season. But this one that I was telling you guys about, you know me, I'm a big hockey fan, and it's always cool to see any kind of hockey team, whether it's the Dogs, the NHL, do their thing, and the Boston Bruins are taking time off their ice to shop for toys and bring cheer to holiday children or cheer to children who are spending holidays in the hospitals this winter. So it's something the team has done every year for the past 13 years. They say that their goal is to give the children a reason to smile while they spend their holidays away from home.
We can make a kid forget what they're going through for even a minute. It's worth doing.
So all the toys that were bought with money donated by the players and Boston Bruins Foundation and will later be delivered to hundreds of children at different hospitals. Always a blessing to see that. And it's very inspiring to see people turn out, no matter what their status in life is, just turn up and turn out for people who matter the most or who need to see that kind of joy the most. So, Jazz, are you with me, girlie? How you doing?
Thursday, almost through the week, so I'm in pretty high spirits.
Yes, that's good. Okay, girl, I was talking about this hockey team and how they just, are giving back to kids who maybe are suffering from something, but they can't spend the holidays at home. How much of I guess, heart tugger is this story for you?
Yes, honestly, it's just a beautiful thing seeing people, especially the hockey players, just give back to the community in that way. Because I can only imagine how hard it is for these kids to spend in the hospitals. I know as a kid, Christmas was a really big deal to us, and it was often filled with so much excitement and decorating the Christmas tree and looking forward to gifts. So I can only imagine how that puts a damper on their mood. So it's just a incredibly selfless act for them to go and do something that they don't have to do, but because they are looking within their hearts to help children who are unfortunately going through a difficult time, might not have the same experience that the kids do, but they're going out of their way to make sure they do have that same experience. And like I said, always, it's just nice to see people doing good in the world, because especially in a world where we don't see that very often. So this is like a beautiful thing.
Definitely. And even if that is a hockey players that you see there is a ton of things that we can do here on a local level, and all that can be found on our website, right, Jazz?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our Angel Tree initiative going on right now, and we're partnering with them to help kids throughout the region make sure they have gifts under their Christmas tree this year. Because a lot of families, it's a hard time for a lot of families just financially, especially with the way the economy is. So if you find it in your heart, so want to give back and make sure kids in need have a holly jolly Christmas, you can go to our website and find the entire distribution list and just learn more about what it all entails. So.
Perfect. Jazz, do we have any viewers or comments today?
We don't have any comments today, but as always, if you're catching up on the morning sprint later in the day, feel free to leave a comment, and we always review those comments. So we'll certainly respond to them in our next episode.
Oh, definitely. Hey, Kareem's he's slipping today, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, right? Where you at, Kareem?
Jazz, thank you so much, girlie.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Well, before we roll out, I do want to let you guys know there are a couple things that we do want to keep you guys in the know about, especially if you want to go out and enjoy your holidays. Vinton is doing it big, and they got a really cool annual event happening. It's kind of a big deal right there. Vinton Christmas Parade returning. Activities are starting up at 4 this afternoon with hot chocolate, with a cop in the library, and then the town tree lighting starts at 6 and the parade kicking off at 7. Also, looks like the parade route, we have it on our website. It's going to start at the Vinton War Memorial, turn south on Maple Street, then again on South Pollard Street, and end on Gus Nick Boulevard. And with that being said, it's important to know that there will be no parking available on South Pollard Street at all today, to make sure no vehicles are left on the street come parade time. So if you guys are going there, keep that in mind. That is something that you want to be aware of, but enjoy that holiday. I live right down the street from it, so I think I would love to go and see that and experience. Christmas is just always good to see Santa coming down on a sleigh down the street. Also, something to keep in mind, we're always about the breaking news. This is a story that we've been following for a long time. Happening today, father who faces charges for rushing his daughter to the emergency room back in court. Michael Morris, initially charged with felony eluding police back in February after he was speeding and running stop signs, while he says that his daughter's pneumonia symptoms took a turn for the worse. The charge has since been dropped to a misdemeanor, but 10 News anchor Alyssa Ray has been on top of the story all day, and we will be live in the courtroom today for coverage tonight at 5 and 6. Do not miss it because, again, I remember this story got a lot of traction on air because you think to yourself, he just wants to protect his baby at the end of the day, but yet some type of miscommunication. You guys see the case. Just go on website, WSLS.com, do the little follow-up, and again, we're going to bring you guys the updates later on this evening in our live coverage. With that, thank you for joining us today. And again, with the day being the last day of November, you remember I told you guys I want to get those decorations, those displays, and I would love to challenge you. Hopefully we get at least 1 or 2 displays to showcase and shout out during the morning sprint every day in December. Please, I would love to see it at least up until Christmas, y'all. Y'all can do that. But yes, thank you guys for joining us on the morning sprint. We'll be back here again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. WSLS.com.